What's poppin', everyone? It's VenomousStare back with LiquidMana versus BeastyQT. Two old school European players that are a lot of fun to watch. Shout out to BeastyQT for this replay pack. He has a YouTube channel of his own. Link will be in the description. You should definitely check that out. He is in the top right here. So I have featured Beasty on my channel for the past couple days, and he has gone against Zergs. And quite frankly, he has used a safe, standard macro build both times, but BeastyQT doesn't really feel the same way about Zerg players as he does Terran. Not really the players so much as the current state of the race, as Beasty takes a gas, and I'm sure he will make a Rax here, and he does. Beasty has been pretty damn outspoken about what he thinks about the current state of Protoss, as we see the Protoss himself, LiquidMana, up here in the top left. Beasty thinks that the Protoss style of Phoenix Adept versus Terran is too strong. He has been outspoken about this, and let's just talk about Phoenix Adept, the purveyors of Phoenix Adept, and the strengths of it. So Phoenix Adept is a very strong style versus Terran for a multitude of reasons. We have seen players like Stats, the Korean, really just go to work with Phoenix Adept against certain Terran players because they can open Stargate, which is such a good opener. The Oracle, as we see double gas here for Beasty, so some weird deviation is up. And with quick double gas builds like this, you almost always see another depot, because without the command center supply boost, you're going to need it. And obviously Wallen is very good to prevent scouting info. And if you're cheesing, you're definitely going to want less scouting information to be revealed. Notice Beasty also gets a Marine out, and the probe comes up here. Beasty's going to gun it down, raise up the wall like Donnie J, and prevent scouting. So he's going to run out with the Marine here, it looks like. Some people leave it here, but that's not really common unless you expand. So he's probably just going to go scout. Stargate out, so it's almost extraordinarily standard, I would call it, to open Stargate because of how good it is. Stargate is so damn good that sometimes we even see people go Stargate and then go into like quick robo after. A lot of times really it's Forge or Twilight is the choice. Twilight is so good versus Terran because of the Resonant Glaives upgrade. In a way, the Resonant Glaives upgrade is almost like a substitute for what +1 armor used to be in the matchup, because now that's really what the Protoss looks for to supplement their early and mid-game unit composition. Double Cyclone on the way out. Double Cyclone on the way, excuse me, for BeastyQT. Now Beasty is continuing to make supply depots, no expansion on the way, as Terran players who code this early double gas and then get a reactored Cyclone, they mean business, guys. Whenever you scout that, it's nothing to be taken lightly. Two Cyclones are on the way here, and Beasty has a Jim Raynor as well, two of them in fact. He has started a proxy starport, so whenever Terrans go one base proxy starport, it is almost always Banshee. But if you're also going Cyclones, it's probably not 2-port Banshee because that's too gas intensive. There is a chance we could see Raven at some point though. It's probably not going to be Liberator or Medivac or something. Void Ray out here for Mana. So Mana made the adjustment to seeing a quick Stargate and went Void Ray instead of Oracle. This is very good because Cyclones would have just eviscerated an Oracle. Because of course Oracles are good at turning on the beam and forcing an engagement. That's not what you want to do versus Cyclones. Since Cyclones have to lock on, you want them to have to lock on and then you run out of range, and then their lock-on ability goes on cooldown. But Beasty might push up here as he pressures the pylon, and there it is, there's the ability. So double lock-on, and Mana wants to press forward here with his ground army and pressure Beasty off, but here comes the overcharge as soon as the pylon finishes. So the pylon does get below its whole health, and wow, here comes the Terran. He just mows it down. He doesn't even care about the overcharge. And suddenly these Cyclones are shooting very quickly at the Nexus, which is at about 1000 HP. Ooh, more lock-ons here for Beasty, and the Protoss is forced to retreat. Great moves here for the Serbian. What do we see here? Proxy Cloak Banshee on the way. Beasty has an ace up his sleeve. Love to see that. He's not just overcommitting to a front door cheese. New players, if you're doing a cheese build, it's good to have a backup cheese planned. Beasty does lose a Cyclone there. That's a bit rough. But he is continuing to try to use the lock-on ability here, And that is tricky because the Protoss has a pretty big ground army and he can just run back and get out of range. So Mana has been microing very well and preventing the Cyclones from getting good hull damage onto the air units. And Widowmine goes down there. So this Banshee over here is really going to have to put in work, guys. This is standard stuff. You want to wait until your cloak is done to go in with Banshee. Usually most people wait for two Banshees and then they'll fly in with cloak. Beasty's continuing to press forward here, and Mana is still making Void Rays, but there is something extraordinarily important, guys, and that is the lack of Robo. And a big engagement coming down as a scan occurs as the bunker gets broken, but there are two, so Beasty runs into the contingency bunker, but all in all, the contain is finally broken. But here comes the ace up, Beasty's sleeve. Great move here by the Serbian to go Banshee off the back of this. Now Mana's thinking, oh great, I held the push, he's really all in, his base is way later than mine. But in reality, the first push was really just a ruse, and now the cloaked Banshee is wreaking havoc, no detection at all. The Oracle is coming out here, it's being chronoed, but remember, that is spellcaster-based detection, not static, consistent detection like a robotics would be able to offer with observers. So Banshees one-shot probes when there's two of them, so every time these Banshees shoot together, they're one-tapping a probe, and suddenly the Protoss player says, oh shit, I have to counter. He doesn't even have a forge to make cannons, and boom! Big hit onto the Void Rays as the Widowmine does a great shot there, and one of the Voids goes down. The Marines can't quite get to the bunker. This is so tricky for the Serbian as the Void Rays come screaming forward. The probes are being eviscerated as the Serbian really just has to hold. The SCVs get pulled, but they're being ripped apart by the Zealot Gateway mix. Please raise, no! And the units get in for the Protoss, and one of the Voids goes down though. The Voids are the big ticket items. Here we go, big engagement. SCVs come out. Tank does a lot of damage to gateway units, and the Marines are stepping forward. Here come the SCVs. It is very, very close, and Beasty is running around. Remember, the Protoss player is not mining, and the Marines do a lot of damage. Here comes the Oracle, and the Oracle mows down the Marines. Ooh, a Revelation goes down, spots the Widowmine. This is tricky. There are 3 SCVs out and the Widowmine is live. So if the Protoss runs up, Beasty could repair it if he's really careful. This is tricky. Barracks being lifted, and the barracks, ooh, it's out of range actually, as the Void Ray did outrange the mine. I don't know why I didn't expect that. Repair occurring onto the siege tank here, but if we go to units, there are only 7 probes. They're out across the map. There are some probes over here, of course, like I just pointed out. And Beasty, it looks like he's in a rough position here as he has lost all of his workers. He has lost all of his workers, but he's flying around with Banshees, and with 2 Banshees it can be tricky because he might be able to kill all of Mana's stuff more quickly, especially because of mules. Remember, in a base race scenario, Terran can always drop mules and then squeeze some stuff out that you'd never expect. Phoenix is out here, but remember, it's just this Oracle out for detection, and these probes are not long for this world. There's only 7 of them. This is very important. 4 probes. And look at this great micro here from Beasty. Beautiful stutter stepping. 2 probes. 1 probe left. And it's going to get hunted down like a white in Africa. And there it goes, as Chris Christie would say. But as it stands, I think Beasty is going to be able to win because the Protoss can't mine. He's out of money. And with mules and mines... Oh, and a Raven! The Raven can put a turret down! And the Raven does put the turret down. Tons of damage. Is the Void Ray gonna die? It's so low. 16 HP, but another Marine comes out. And remember, LiquidMana does not have anything to mine with. And because of mules, Beasty can get money and start to produce SCVs. Here comes the mine. It gets down. Woo! The Oracle barely escapes, but with another... Oh, the mine gets it. There were multiple mines as Beasty had a minefield. And then he traps him, and LiquidMana leaves without GG. But it was a frustrating game. He went all the way down to 2 supply before he lost, which is very, very rare. So to recap, the Protoss player thought that the Terran was doing a very hard committal push towards the middle. Beasty was doing some damage. It looked like he was committing a lot to it, which he was. In reality, BeastyQT hid some tech on the map, which is called a proxy. He deceived his opponent into overmaking Void Rays, trying to hold a hard commit ground all in. The lack of detection from the Protoss player allowed the Cloaked Banshees to do significant damage, and BeastyQT was able to narrowly hold the counterattack with some nice SimCity and micros. So if you enjoyed that, subscribe for more and check out Beasty's channel.